Welcome to the world of Happy Days. This classic TV series, which aired in the 1970s, is filled with laughter, surprises, and touching moments. But did you know there are many funny, shocking, and even sad facts about the show? Keep watching to uncover them all. Do you have a cherished memory associated with this TV series? Maybe it's a favorite episode that always brings a smile to your face, or a moment shared with loved ones while watching the show. Or perhaps you have a favorite classic Hollywood actor from the series. Whoever it is, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. So, get ready for an entertaining journey through the world of Happy Days, where nostalgia meets laughter, and where every viewer has a story to share. Let's dive in and explore the hidden gems of this beloved show. What's your most cherished memory or personal experience related to Happy Days? Share your stories and memories with us in the comments below. We can't wait to hear from you. Back in the 1970s, a TV show hit the screens, capturing the hearts of many Americans. It brought back memories of the 1950s in a nostalgic way. One character, known for his coolness and rebellious spirit, became a favorite among viewers. With his leather jacket, motorcycle, and catchy lines, he became a cultural icon, influencing fashion and language. The show wasn't just about fun and coolness. It also tackled serious topics with humor and warmth. It explored family life, growing up, and chasing dreams, making it relatable to audiences then and now. The actors in the show went on to have successful careers, thanks in part to their chemistry on screen. Even today, the show remains relevant, reminding us of simpler times and the importance of friendship and community. In summary, this TV gem from the past still shines brightly in our memories, influencing how we see the 1950s. Its timeless appeal and cultural significance continue to touch hearts and inspire new generations. Marion Ross, known for her role in a classic television series, also appeared alongside Clayton Moore, who played the Lone Ranger. Interestingly, Ross also shared the screen with John Hart, who temporarily took on the role of the Lone Ranger. This crossover occurred in an episode of the show. In the series, Richie and Joanie initially had an older brother named Chuck. However, Chuck's disappearance from the storyline without any explanation became a notable phenomenon in television culture, referred to as Chuck Cunningham syndrome. Towards the conclusion of the series, Tom Bosley, who portrayed the father figure, broke character in the final episode. He directly addressed the audience, expressing gratitude for their presence and viewership over the years, acknowledging them as part of the Cunningham family. The theme song of the TV series, performed by Ron Hinklin, and the Ron Hinklin Singers, achieved success akin to their work on Batman and Wonder Woman. Both the Happy Days theme and Rock Around the Clock became Billboard Top 100 hits during the show's run. Robbie Benson and Don Most were considered for the role of Richie Cunningham, with Ralph Malph's character created specifically for Most. Penny Marshall, despite having only a couple of Happy Days episodes on her directing resume, replaced Howard Zieff as director of Jumpin' Jack Flash in 1986. Ted McGinley, known for his role in the 1974 TV series, also collaborated with Marion Ross's close friend Gavin MacLeod on multiple episodes of The Love Boat. The garage where Fonzie worked underwent a name change from Herbs to Broncos after Herbs' retirement. Originally, there was a network push for a 20s theme show, as 20s nostalgia was in vogue during the show's development in 1972. However, Gary Marshall and the writers, having grown up in the 50s, persuaded ABC to explore that era. The decision proved fruitful, as there was a scarcity of 50s themed shows at the time. Interestingly, the series eventually delved into the 20s with a flashback fantasy episode in season 7, titled The Roaring Twenties. In 1972, Marion Ross was cast as Marion Cunningham in an episode of a comedy series. 2 years later, when the segment was developed into a television series, she reprised her role alongside Howard, while Good was replaced by Tom Bosley. Henry Winkler and Anson Williams are the only cast members to appear in every incarnation of the cast group shot in the opening credits. Pinky and her sister Leather's name Tuscadero was inspired by the real-life town of Atascadero, California. Leather was played by singer-bass guitarist Susie Quattro, who wanted to bring her career back to America. Across several TV shows, Henry Winkler played a well-known character named Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli. He appeared in shows like Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, The Fonts and the Happy Days Gang, and Joanie Loves Chachi, always as his famous character. Marion Ross, who also acted in the same series, got involved in a purse-snatching incident. Anson Williams' uncle, Henry Heimlich, investigated the incident. Interestingly, during the investigation, he couldn't resist complimenting her smooth skin. This show has had a big influence on popular culture. It's been mentioned in Jackson Browne's song Lawyers in Love, and even spoofed in Weezer's catchy tune, Buddy Holly. The show's importance in entertainment history is undeniable, making it a beloved classic. In Happy Days, several actors portrayed characters with names identical to their own, including Marion Ross, Al Marinero, Nancy Walker, Heather O'Rourke, Tammy O'Rourke, Fred Fox, Andrew Paris, Joyce Brothers, and Lorne Greene. Henry Winkler and Tom Bosley were the only actors to appear in all 255 episodes of the series. Despite their close friendship, Winkler couldn't attend Bosley's funeral, which was limited to family members. Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees auditioned for the role of Fonzie, but was considered too tall at 6 feet. Henry Winkler, who was 5'6", was ultimately cast. Interestingly, Dolenz was exactly 3 inches taller than Ron Howard, while Winkler was exactly 3 inches shorter. In the series, it had become a cliché for characters like the Fonz to constantly comb their hair. However, Henry Winkler, who played the Fonz, argued against this, fearing it would make him seem like an ordinary hoodlum. Instead, Winkler improvised a gag where the Fonz goes to comb his hair, looks in the mirror, and shrugs, indicating his hair's perfection. This became a trademark moment for the character. Later, in another episode, the Fonz revealed he had never used his comb in 9 years, further solidifying his iconic image. In an episode titled Richie Fights Back, Pat Morita, who played Arnold's chef and owner, teaches Richie martial arts. Morita's portrayal later resonated with audiences when he played Miyagi, the wise martial arts master in The Karate Kid and its sequels. Al Molinaro, another cast member, was born in Wisconsin, in Kenosha, 40 miles from Milwaukee, making him the only regular cast member with roots in the state. Marion Ross, known for her role in the series, strongly pushed for more depth in her and Tom Bosley's characters. Despite her efforts, producer Gary Marshall insisted on keeping the focus on the male leads. Ross, however, persisted in giving her character more complexity and nuance, aiming to make it more interesting on screen. On the other hand, adding the middle name Louise to Joanie Cunningham's character brought a sense of familiarity and warmth, making her more likable to viewers. This small detail revealed more about her personality, adding depth to the overall cast of the show. In a surprising twist, John Byner chose to leave his role as Mork, leading to the successful creation of his own show Bizarre on Showtime. This decision not only marked a big change for Byner, but also had a significant impact on the series as a whole. To sum it up, the behind-the-scenes dynamics and creative choices that influenced the popular series provide a captivating glimpse into the complexities of television production at that time. Each character, regardless of gender, played a unique role in shaping the show's history on television, leaving a lasting impression. Richie had a unique way of addressing people he didn't like. He called them bucko. The interior of the Cunningham house didn't quite match its exterior. While the outside featured a symmetrical layout with windows flanking the front door, the inside lacked a window on the right side and had the kitchen on the left. This discrepancy hinted at an L-shaped structure, contrasting with the square exterior. Despite this inconsistency, the show's transition to a 3-camera studio audience format in Season 3 significantly boosted its popularity. Marion Ross observed that many cast members, with their stage acting backgrounds, found the switch comfortable. During the early days of filming, Marion Ross and her on-screen husband, Tom Bosley, initially had a strained relationship. However, as time passed, they grew closer and remained friends until Bosley's passing in 2010. Anson Williams and Scott Baio gained record deals because of their musical contributions to the show. Roz Kelly, who played Pinky, struggled to connect with the rest of the cast due to her background and was eventually let go. Despite attempts to keep her on spin-off shows, she couldn't adjust and was ultimately fired. Interestingly, around the same time, Scott Baio transitioned from the spin-off to join the main cast of Happy Days, becoming one of its newest stars. Did you know that some actors and actresses appeared in both a popular TV show and a hit movie from the same era? One notable example is a famous DJ who narrated the opening of a cartoon spin-off. Additionally, there were plans to rename the show after one of its beloved characters due to his immense popularity. However, these plans didn't go through due to potential resignations by key individuals involved. Interestingly, this spin-off series was unique in that it didn't feature one of the original characters. Before joining the cast of the show, some actors had worked with a well-known director on television projects. It's fascinating how interconnected these entertainment circles can be, isn't it? In a peculiar twist, Scott Baio's character in this series and his later successful show from the 1980s shared the same name, Charles. Charles was actually the real name of Chachi, with Chachi being his nickname. Anson Williams, in his recent autobiography, revealed that Gary Marshall encouraged him to hone his entrepreneurial skills. Williams took this advice to heart, establishing multiple prosperous ventures, including a line of beauty and skin products for celebrities. He also carved a niche for himself as a sought-after TV director in Hollywood. Marshall, acknowledging Williams' acting talent, emphasized the importance of having a backup plan. Initially, Ron Howard turned down the role of Richie because he was wary of being typecast as a teenager indefinitely. However, Gary Marshall reassured him that if the series got picked up, Richie and his friends would grow up. True to his word, as the show progressed, the characters graduated from high school and transitioned into adulthood. Even Fonzie, a quintessential rebel, returned to night school to graduate alongside his pals. In the mid-1970s, a unique initiative was undertaken by Gary Marshall, who created a baseball league to tour and engage cast from various TV shows. This innovative move aimed to provide the cast with constructive activities, steering them clear of trouble and drug-related issues. Tom Bosley, known for his roles in multiple sitcoms, including Wait Till Your Father Gets Home and Happy Days, showcased his versatility by starring in 2 sitcoms originating from Love, American-style sketches. His portrayal in Love and the old-fashioned father segment paved the way for his iconic role in Happy Days. The introduction of the character Fonzie in Happy Days was a strategic move influenced by the success of Paul Le Mat's John Milner Greaser character in American Graffiti. Michael Eisner and Gary Marshall felt the need to incorporate a similar character into their series, leading to the creation of Fonzie, who was inspired by John Milner. Thus, Fonzie became an integral part of the show's dynamic, adding depth and appeal to the narrative. During his early career, Ted McGinley found a mentor in Marion Ross, a co-star from the television series. They formed a close bond, which McGinley credits for much of his success. Anson Williams gained recognition for his portrayal of Warren Potsie Weber in the show. In a poignant moment, Henry Winkler, known for his role as Fonzie, once talked a troubled teenager out of suicide over the phone, demonstrating the impact the series had on its audience. During its run, the spin-off Blansky's Beauties featured Nancy Walker, who also starred as Rhoda's mother on another spin-off called Rhoda. Originally, Potsie was meant to be Richie's best friend, but Fonzie's popularity led to a shift in focus. John Byner was initially cast as Mork, but was replaced by Robin Williams, whose performance in My Favorite Orkin turned the episode from one of the worst to one of the best. Williams later gained a list stardom and starred in A Wish for Wings that work alongside his Happy Days co-star. Decades after its heyday, the impact of a beloved TV show lives on through its stars. One actor, Al Molinaro, spotted Robin Williams' talent and recommended him for a quirky role, kickstarting Williams' rise to fame. Recently, Henry Winkler and Don Most met up in Alabama, sharing fond memories of their time together on the show. Despite busy lives, they stay connected with each other and their fans. Scott Baio, known for his role as Chachi Arcola, also found success in other parts, charming audiences worldwide with his on-screen presence. The influence of Happy Days continues through its cast, each leaving a memorable contribution to TV history. Throughout its run, Marion Ross had a near-perfect attendance on the show, missing only 2 episodes during the 1981-82 season. Lynda Purl initially portrayed Richie's girlfriend Gloria in Season 2 before transitioning to Fonzie's girlfriend Ashley. In an interview on The Howard Stern Show, Erin Moran revealed that Henry Winkler consistently vocalized his dislike for Anson Williams. In one memorable episode, Roz Kelly appeared as Pinky Tuscadero, intended to become a recurring character. However, due to off-screen conflicts with co-star Henry Winkler, her character's potential was never fully realized. Ralph Malph, known for his catchphrase, "I still got it," remained a beloved character throughout the series. Arnold, though frequently mentioned, didn't make an appearance until later seasons, as ABC insisted on his inclusion. These behind-the-scenes dynamics added layers to the show's narrative, enriching the viewer's experience. In the early days of Happy Days, Mickey Dolenz, known for his role in The Monkees, nearly snagged the part of Fonzie. Despite his substantial fame, Dolenz was open to a minor role. Fonzie, initially a supporting character, started with minimal lines, mainly expressing approval with a thumbs up. Gary Marshall and the team considered expanding the role if Dolenz had taken it. The role eventually went to Henry Winkler, who, according to Marshall, lacked the look but embodied the spirit they sought. Marion Ross, a familiar face in Happy Days, previously collaborated with co-star Tom Bosley on various projects, including one movie and episodes of Let's Call It Quits, Joanie Loves Chachi, The Love Boat, and Family Guy. John Bailey made history as the first recurring African-American character on Happy Days, playing Sticks in 2 episodes. In the later seasons, Kevin Rodney Sullivan took on the role of Tommy, a Jefferson High student who befriends Joanie and Chachi. These behind-the-scenes dynamics and casting choices shaped the show's trajectory, creating the iconic series that remains a cultural touchstone. In the iconic TV series, the boots worn by Henry Winkler were more than just props. They carried a piece of his acting history. These boots had previously graced the screen in another beloved production, The Lords of Flatbush. Interestingly, despite the passage of time since the show's 50s-60s setting, 9 celebrities made appearances as themselves, adding a touch of authenticity to the narrative. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing for Winkler. His inaugural motorcycle ride on set ended in a mishap, crashing into a sound man. To prevent further accidents, the motorcycle was thereafter mounted on a board on wheels, easing its mobility around the set. Such behind-the-scenes anecdotes enrich our understanding of the show's production dynamics and the challenges faced by the cast. In the heyday of television during the mid-20th century, a beloved show captured the hearts of millions. Its iconic theme song and memorable characters made it a household favorite. Over time, the show underwent changes, including a revamped theme in the 1980s and the introduction of an animated spin-off featuring familiar faces. One central character had a distinct catchphrase whenever someone knocked on his door, a simple and memorable declaration of availability. Despite the show's evolution, one key figure made it clear he wouldn't be associated with a spin-off named after his character. However, he did contribute to the animated venture alongside other familiar faces. These subtle shifts and animated adventures added new dimensions to the show's universe, ensuring its continued relevance and entertainment value for viewers. In the series, Hollywood film stars Humphrey Bogart, Clark Gable, and Cary Grant are mentioned. Marion Ross had bit roles in some of these actors' films. The boys Richie, Potsie, Ralph, and Chachi play in a band for several years without any name. Leather even bails them out in an episode, telling them they really need a name. However, they never get one, and in the following season, Ralph and Richie move out of Milwaukee and join the Army, ending the band's stint. For the first couple of seasons, Good Times and the show were scheduled on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. in direct competition. Good Times initially held the lead, prompting Happy Days to undergo retooling. This included pushing Fonzie into the center of the show, giving him lots of catchphrases and filming in front of a live audience. These changes propelled Happy Days to the #1 spot in the ratings, surpassing Good Times. When the show first aired, network executives raised concerns about his leather jacket, fearing it glamorized delinquency. They wanted him in a windbreaker, but Gary Marshall convinced them Fonzie wore it for safety on his motorcycle. ABC agreed, allowing the jacket while riding. Marshall then insisted Fonzie only appear on screen while biking, keeping the leather jacket 247. This move fueled Fonzie's popularity, silencing the executives' worries. In an episode, the Cunninghams exit a theater showing The Music Man. Mistress Cunningham sees a resemblance between a character and Richie. Mr. Cunningham dismisses it, not realizing Howard had played that character at 8 years old. Henry Winkler, whose father passed away in '95, shared a unique bond with Marion Ross, whose brother passed the same year, forging a deeper connection off-screen. Back in the early episodes, the hangout spot for the teens was called Arthur's, but it quickly changed to Arnold's in the next one. This change marked the start of many memorable moments in the series. As the show became more popular, its creator, Gary Marshall, wanted to encourage young viewers to read. In one episode, Fonzie, known for being tough, surprised everyone by going to the library and saying everybody can read. Although there were rumors that more people started getting library cards because of this, the American Library Association didn't find any proof of that. When Ron Howard and Don Most left the show, their characters, Richie and Ralph, joined the Army, explaining why they weren't around anymore. These small changes and creative choices helped keep the show interesting and dealt with real-life issues in a fictional world. The series mixed humor with serious moments, which is why it stayed popular for so long. Before hitting the small screen, Marion Ross, who played a housewife on the show, had quite a varied background. She worked in a store before landing her role, showing her skills both on and off camera. It's interesting to note that the outside of the Cunningham home didn't match its inside on the show, which is pretty common in TV. Fonzie's place was also a bit off. It was supposed to be above the garage, but the set didn't quite match that setup. Erin Moran, who played Joanie Cunningham, didn't get the role at first, but Anson Williams recommended her based on their previous work together. These are just some of the quirks and stories from behind the scenes of the show Happy Days, showing how TV production can be pretty complex. Throughout the series, Richie and Joanie both wear Fonzie's famous leather jacket at different times. Richie does it for fun twice, while Joanie wears it when he's in therapy for being too aggressive. When Mork first shows up, he talks about how much he likes the Andy Griffith Show, especially Opie, who is played by Ron Howard. Marion Ross plays Marion Cunningham in 4 different shows, showing how good she is at acting in different roles. These crossovers and changes to the characters make the show more interesting, mixing different stories together and making moments that people will remember. Whenever Fonzie's jacket shows up or they mention another old show, it makes Happy Days even more fun for people to watch. The show has a big cast and lots of references to old TV, making it a show that people love no matter when they watched it. Plans for a reboot of the series have circulated, considering setting it in the 90s or the noughties. There were 3 actors who played the character Chuck Cunningham, Rick Carrot in the pilot, Gavin O'Herlihy and Randolph Roberts. O'Herlihy quit due to not enjoying the work, and Roberts was later recast, but written off the show at the end of the 2nd season due to Fonzie's rising popularity overshadowing Chuck's role. Surprisingly, both O'Herlihy and Roberts were invited back for the 30th anniversary special. Henry Winkler, known for his role on the show, reunited with Marion Ross on Out of Practice in 26, crediting her as his acting mentor and best friend. She played a significant role in his career. During its time, the show Happy Days had a character named Warren, nicknamed Potsie, who was quite popular. He added a youthful charm and funny moments that people all over liked. Tom Bosley, who played Howard Cunningham, joined the show after Harold Good, who started the role in the first episode. The show's theme song, the theme from Happy Days, became a hit in 1976, reaching number 5 on the charts. It had a catchy tune and lyrics that made people feel nostalgic about the past. Happy Days is still loved by many because of its memorable characters and heartwarming stories. It teaches us about friendship, family, and finding happiness. It's a significant part of TV history, appreciated for its humor and warmth. In the early days of the series, Pat Morita, known for his role as Arnold, initially played the character without an accent during rehearsals. However, Gary Marshall, the show's creator, approached Morita and suggested portraying Arnold with broken English. Morita agreed to Marshall's request, shaping the character in a way that added a distinctive element to the show. As the series progressed, Fonzie's character, portrayed by Henry Winkler, gained prominence, eventually overshadowing even the star of the show, Ron Howard. The departure of Ron Howard marked a turning point, and many, including Marion Ross, expressed skepticism about the show's survival. Ross noted in interviews that the series endured, but it was never the same without Howard. The dynamic between Richie and Fonzie, which had been integral to the show, lost its balance, causing Fonzie's character to lose its effectiveness. Noteworthy is the crossover of actors between Happy Days and Hill Street Blues. Bruce Weitz and Betty Thomas made appearances in both series, showcasing their versatility in the television landscape. Ed Marinaro, another actor from Hill Street Blues, not only had a recurring role in the Happy Days spin-off Laverne and Shirley, but also left his mark on both shows. The interconnectedness of actors across Happy Days and Hill Street Blues reveals a shared space in the television industry during that era. These collaborations add an interesting layer to the careers of these performers, showcasing their adaptability in different roles and settings.